No!
Welcome back to the 16th day of the Spooktober 2020, everybody. Today we're talking about Freddy versus Jason. I had about 100 minutes to spare that day. I didn't want to use my brain a lot. I just wanted to sit down and have some fun. Naturally, Freddy versus Jason is the obvious first choice on my list when it comes to that type of movie. So I watched it. I have seen the first 4 or 5 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I don't really remember how far in the franchise I got, the first one being the most memorable one, to say the least. The third one wasn't bad, and every other installment pretty much has the same plot. That's why it's pretty forgettable. You're just seeing the same thing being covered by different people throughout the franchise. For the Jason Voorhees franchise, I only saw the first one, so I guess at least I have the introduction to the Jason character before going into this one. It was directed by Ronnie Yu, who also made Bride of Chucky back in '98, and when you have a movie like this, there's pretty much only one thing and one thing only you expect from it: Freddy and Jason to fight each other. Everything else should only be noise because they don't matter in a scenario like this. I would even say it's obnoxiously annoying to walk out of this movie complaining about everything other than that includes the plot, which, to summarize, really just Freddy wants to kill children, Jason wants to kill children, and they're getting in each other's way, so they fight. As a stupid, dumb, fun slasher film, I guess Freddy vs. Jason does the job. People are dying periodically throughout. Whether you care about them or not is not really relevant. You get a group of kids who just want to fuck anything that moves, and incredible acting.
Look, I tried to tell you this earlier. The reason I was sent to Weston, it's because I saw your dad kill your mom.
Over the top and comical kills, a beautiful protagonist who happens to be a good girl virgin type, and a lot of titties, because everyone knows that if you don't have titties in your slasher B movie, you might as well not make it at all. Everyone knows this. And of course, if you have the right mindset, everything becomes a lot more lighthearted and humorous. Oh no, her mom what? Her mother what?
I mean, Laura, you've barely gone out since what? Since my mom died?
I guess my only legit piece of criticism would be that the film really shouldn't take itself too seriously. They're already doing that, but I think it's not enough. So it constantly rides the line between, are you aware you're being stupid, or are you just is? Because I would say the first hour of this thing, it feels like the filmmakers are genuinely trying to build a scary atmosphere. Despite some of the more convoluted moments here and there, it seems like they were trying to make a case for the main character. It's trying to make a case for the town being terrorized. We see our main group of characters trying to stay awake. The cops are trying to figure this shit out. There's some sort of massive cover-up taking place, and they are trying to create this disorientating feeling when characters enter in and out of nightmares. But the final 30 minutes or so is where the film really took off. Not only do we finally see Freddy and Jason start fighting each other, there are a lot more on-the-nose jokes and over-the-top moments. This is when it was made clear that everything is supposed to be tongue-in-cheek and everything is just for dumb fun, which they actually succeeded in. I would even say the last 30 minutes was kind of fun. There are even more bad special effects within this time frame. Even though you see it throughout the film, this is when it absolutely blows up. Like they don't care anymore. It is a lot more self-aware than the first 2 acts that came before it. It understands that when people die in the story, it is actually very funny and no one would shed a single tear about them. Still, you can see this movie in a few ways. For once, you can see this movie as another terrible horror film with way more shitty special effects than you would ever care in a terrible horror film. Or you can look forward to nonsensical people dying and Freddy and Jason fighting each other in red, green, or blue. At times it feels it's both at the same time, and that's why I'll probably never watch this again by myself, maybe with other people who just want to laugh. The tone of this thing is a bit shifting, and the first act is very scattered. The plot itself, the device that depicts Freddy and Jason against each other, is lazy at best. It's not at all a good movie, but if you're just watching movies like a robot and thinking only good cinema is good, then you're just as bad as the ones who genuinely think bad cinema is. Hope that makes sense. I'm giving Freddy vs. Jason a D+, but not in a bad way, trust me. What do you think of this movie? Did you have fun with it or did you just fucking hate it?